difficulties spelling, reading, pronouncing. Why was it named dyslexia?
Just pray for autocorrect to finish it.
But so I said, तारे ज़मीन पर देखिए ना.
And then all I remember is getting slapped.
Your peers don't understand what you have. They have never seen it.
There's this myth कि एक बार solve हो जाएगा.
Would not go to school like every day. I used to get very scared. I used to cry and all of that.
But I've been told such contrasting things that I'm so confused as to what I need to do.
Everybody is different in their own way.
Special stops when you come into college or when you come into the workforce.
People always think that you need to be book smart to be smart. Like especially in school. I feel like with having like a disability, like especially we judge less.
Whatever we went through, that made us who we are right now.
One thing that I want to begin with is that when I was a child, okay, and I got familiar with the term dyslexia, until date, I just keep thinking of the fact that a disability that is around a lot of difficulties spelling, reading, pronouncing. Why was it named dyslexia? Like, it's very difficult for me. So even when I have to write dyslexia, I'll just write D and then I'll just like write something. Yeah, yes.
Just pray for autocorrect to finish it.
Yeah. So when I was growing up, okay, I did not know that specific learning disability is also something you can say. So when somebody would ask me, okay, what, like my parents were still teaching me how you can advocate for yourself. You should tell people you have this challenge. So when they would ask me, I would not shy away from telling them, but pronouncing this was so difficult that I would just run away from there. Yes. So I think it took me some time till maybe I was 7-8 years that I could like say this term, and then I got a little familiar, but I was still struggling as a child that what are my challenges that are because of this. Like it took me some time to realize that. I was in school and this is early 90s, okay? So, yeah. I remember I started talking very early and I was put in a play school. And I was very close to one of my elder cousins, okay? And when I went there, they start, after the play school, you go to kindergarten and then they start with those 3-letter words and all that you have to put together. So a lot of kids around me started forming sentences, okay, which when they would write, I still cannot explain that for me. I did not know what was that on paper. Like I had no idea. These kids are writing sentences. I could not understand why have they jumbled up alphabets and they're put on the page. So I could not explain it, and one of my teachers said, okay, I'll give you some extra time, and she's like, whatever I'm writing, just try to just copy it. So she started writing the alphabets and I copied them upside down because that's how I could see. So for me it was just like certain images on the paper that I had to copy. Then I went to another class, a new teacher, and she was asking us to memorize. And I shut my eyes because I could visualize better, right? And then all I remember is getting slapped. And I came back and I was like, what happened? I don't know. I was in shock. So I kept telling my mother, my stomach is hurting. Then I would tell her that my school is shut, okay? And then I was very anxious. I got fever. My parents tried to take me to the doctor. What is it? Like, typhoid, this, that, what is it? And then they eventually understood something has happened in the school. So now the thing was, for them also the understanding was so low because they did not know anybody, that for them to explain the school, ask for something like support, forget accommodation, just support was very difficult. So then they decided that they're going to take me back home and whatever will happen in home from there on. For me, what happened through that was, I used to think kids who are going to school are very smart, like they're just like, they're like, these Einsteins and all. Now that I know he also had a learning disability, but at that time I was like, ये जो बच्चे हैं ये बहुत smart होते हैं. These are the ones that are making these aircrafts and buildings and all is what I know are the kids. And then took me some time to understand like a lot of time, to be honest, till I actually did not go to school like in my 9th, 10th. Okay, we are all similar. The people worse off than me also with their academics. So that is what it was for me. But there was a lot of fear which I still have from cropping from learning environments, like being in school, colleges. I want to study, but I still have this fear holding me back to be in a classroom setup.
I think I did not have a similar. I was in an inclusive school, so for me the experience was a little different because I got to know when I was in the first grade that I have dyslexia, and it was not me. My parents got to know, and I really don't remember when I got to know. I think it was just like a gradual process in which there was like a self-realization that okay, I have this. And obviously initial years were more tougher than now or even like my senior secondary years because you get bullied and your peers don't understand what you have because they have never seen it, they don't come from a background where they're aware of what you're going through. So they also, I remember like in the second grade like there was this parent who told my class teacher that my child cannot sit with me because because apparently because my spellings are so wrong, so that like her child's spellings can also get wrong. And I mean, when I look back, I feel like saying it's nothing contagious. I don't have tuberculosis. I'm not coughing into your child's face. And like it's crazy, but I think people's mentality is such that we need to like probably get more aware of what a child is going through. Maybe I'm going through that, your child can go through something else later. So like being a little more sensitive. And I think the worst is I think one of us also had shared before that like peers feel that okay, you're getting extra time or you're getting a scribe. It's like an advantage.
It's not an advantage, it's your right.
Yeah, it's your right. I think you were sharing something.
I mean, just think why, if I get extra time, what does that mean? You're just substituting. The scribe is writing for you, right? So I do have to dictate it slightly slow, no?
Exactly.
It's equal to with the 3-hour paper being converted into 4.
And now that I'm in medical school, I think it's much better because I mean obviously you have the professors and everybody took some time for them to understand what I'm dealing with. And particularly an incident that like is really shattered me in college was I worked so hard. I passed my NEET exam and I'm like sitting in one of the very amazing colleges of the country, and this professor, she was a physiology professor, and she was taking my viva, and she said, there are these children who have some disabilities and they come and they don't know anything. During my viva, she said this, and I came out and was like crying, and I was like, no, this is nothing personal. She's crazy. It's something to do with her and you need to move on. And I think now you look back and you feel like, okay, it's fine.
I would think that when I'll go to college, because they'll be adults, they'll be more sensitive. Somehow I thought that the bullying will just like decrease by a notch maybe. But no, it was worse off over there.
They're more brutal because they know more words. So they say
I
it.
know where to hit you.
No, but at the same time, I would say not everybody is aware, right?
Yeah.
Like, I and probably most of us sitting here come from a very good educational background or schools that are inclusive. So when I joined Amity University, I didn't have much problem with the professors because my HOD, Kavita and Dipurkar, had made sure that all my professors are aware of it. But I had a very tough time with my peers. I mean, for them to explain ki dyslexia hai kya. First day when I went, they asked me, what does dyslexia mean? Because I have dyslexia. Uska matlab. And even my seniors were not aware of it. So I said, Tare Zameen Par dekhiye na. Tare Zameen Par I think is the best example that I could give at that point of time. I mean, I could have given some other examples like Atypical as well, but I think Tare Zameen Par, everybody can relate to that film. It was a very good film, I have to say. So, of course, they think that I get advantage, they don't understand me. So, it is heartbreaking and it did make me feel very angry. But after a point of time, I think you have to give up. Because kitna hi, you get demotivated.
Yeah, you're just like, you're constantly repeating yourself. So
And you have to move on. You have a whole agenda. You don't want to, that just pulls you down. So there's only one way, that is basically you forgive and go. Though I tell them, I give them examples, I tell them just remove your specs and walk straight on a line. I do give them examples, but I think that doesn't help them, and I don't blame them. They're not aware. Probably they don't come from those schools where they talk about it. Awareness is limited right now, but I'm pretty sure the awareness will slowly increase. I think government also 10 years back did not have these facilities like UDID cards. I'm pretty sure from your experience also, we would know that इतना sensitivity उस समय नहीं था. अब तो अच्छे schools में you have these counselors, you have these special sessions, remedial classes are there.
Oh yeah, like when I was growing up, there was no concept of special educators.
Yeah,
They would say tuitions. I was like, "Arey bhai, they'll teach me the same thing, but they will not teach me how to learn. Right? They'll just teach me the subject." So my parents used to read up a lot. There was no internet, by the way, guys. Okay, yes. Okay, there was no internet. You would have things like an encyclopedia. The online Wikipedia was that. So reading was a lot of challenge. So my parents focused a lot on learning styles. Schools, so we gave up on explaining them kya hai, kya nahi hai. For my college, I could not ask for accommodation. I remember I sat with my dean and I spoke about accommodation. My parents were there and they were like, first year students ko hostel milta hai, utta accommodation kafi hai. So they're like, no, certain support. Yeah, certain support.
हाँ, I went to ask them that आपके पास dyslexia की facilities है apart from writers. वो मेरा right है, वो मुझे मिलते हैं. That's there by law. That's a law established. So आप और कुछ provide कर सकते हो. आप मुझे notes दे सकते हो. Can you give me this? Ma'am, वो सब तो नहीं दे सकते, but we have a ramp for you.
But now I want to talk about, because both of you are in school, how was it for you being diagnosed and also getting the support in school? Even screened, I mean, if you were screened early on in school.
So my school, very, very inclusive. So I grew up with kids with like cerebral palsy, autism, Down syndrome, and we all knew about it. We just didn't care about it. So, but once we hit 3rd grade, like I feel like that's when everything went bad. It's because that's when kids like develop like the understanding and everything, and then the parents also get involved and the teachers also get involved, because that was the time when we started carrying bags to school. So once we started carrying bags to school, that's when everything went downhill, and we got a new teacher. So this teacher, my teacher at least, she was like very not good. Let's just say that. So I used to spend like most of my time outside class, then inside class. So how am I supposed to learn then? But then the thing is, I had one of my friends, she's like a genius. She's one of those high level intelligent kids. So luckily she just didn't care. She was just like, okay, do what you want, I'll help. And then the screening process was like, so in my school, I recently got to know that teachers screen kids. And I didn't know about that. So when I asked, they were like, we do it at a young age, like around 2nd or 3rd grade, to see or to let the parents know. So I was just like, that didn't happen with me in school. But in 2nd grade, I did get diagnosed. And my 3rd grade teacher was just like, no, you don't have it. And then like now growing up, now that I'm fine with it, my friends are also like okay with it. My teachers are also like more this thing. But I feel like junior school was like the worst. Junior school teachers were brutal. Like they used to say like the most mean stuff. And like not only to disability kids, like you're telling a kid that you can't read. So that's wonderful. But then when I came to senior school, I was just like they were a lot more aware. And they were a lot more accepting. But then when I started getting tuition teachers for sciences and all, they were all like, the best part is, आपके पास है ही नहीं है, आपका mentality है. I found it so funny at one point. I was just like, okay sir,
No, I think we were discussing about that only. I think when you're in, the teachers have to do B.Ed. And B.Ed ke course mein you can have a short 3-month course about the intellectual disabilities, because see, it is a disability. Just because they can't recognize क्योंकि दिखता नहीं है ना, so that's why they don't recognize it as a disability. If there is a person whose legs broken or something's happened, they will give him all the accommodation that he requires. But हमारे साथ the problem is that you can't see that we're disabled, and you can't see that we have dyslexia or our minds work differently. That's not visible. It's there in us, but you can't see it through your naked eyes. So.
You know, like when you talk about teachers being mean and even like children bullying, like your peers like bullying you and stuff like that, I don't want to disregard that. I feel like whatever we went through, that made us who we are right now. And like a lot of people say no, this shouldn't have happened, but I feel like it's okay, it happened, and I think it happened for the good. I'm like who I am today, and a lot of my characteristics are because of what I went through.
When I was in GD Goenka public school, like when I was in 4th grade, when my school started, like I joined the new school, I would not go to school like every day. I used to get very scared, I used to cry and all of that. And mostly my mom didn't know what was going on, why is she doing like this and all of that. But my mom knew a term called anxiety, and all the symptoms were actually anxiety, and like, you know, head is paining and, you know, feeling nausea and all of that. My mom knew about this term, but she never knew about what dyslexia is and all of that. So at that time, then we went to children first, and that time they diagnosed me with anxiety and dyslexia, learning disability. And after that, my mom, like first time when she heard about it, she didn't know what it meant actually. So she got a bit nervous that, oh my God, what is going to happen? Will she not succeed in life because of dyslexia and all of that? But then she did research about it and, you know, found out, oh, okay, this is what it is, and you have to, you know, you have to go with it. And now her mindset has really changed about it, you know, reading it through. And now also in this school, GD Goenka, my school has been really supportive. I'm getting all my accommodations, my classes and all of that.
To my 10th, my parents said, oh, time for new school, which is not inclusive. I was like, why would you do that to me? Like, I hated them for that. They're like, no, the world from your school is not going to be the way your school is. I was like, you guys cannot do this to me, please. I think I can drop schooling altogether now. They're like, no, you have to. And then they put me in the school. And there everything changed. Okay, I had to explain people why I got late. I had to explain them why I forgot not to get to the lab in time. I had to explain them everything. But when I went to college, I will go to some other city altogether where you guys are not close to me and study. So they're like, fine. I went there and it was very difficult, okay, because there are so many questions around this. Oh, will you be able to read then all your subjects? I was like, huh. So is there an IQ issue? I was like, no. They're like, you can't read, you can't spell properly, but your IQ is fine. I was like, how do I make them understand this, okay? Like, how do I? But because I had countered this question so many times in my +2, that I was very comfortable. I was like,
it becomes default way.
Sit through people. It would not make me anxious. I was not scared to face these people. But when I now reflect back, college became very easy because of that. College and everybody, like, be it interning, everything got. It did not become easy. The challenges were the same, but this just getting past explaining people. I was not seeking like any acceptance anymore.
I have a very similar experience because I changed my school in 11th, 12th, and it was horrible. Can you imagine like an 11th grader coming out and meeting my mom and just howling? Like in the middle, everybody is there and I'm howling. And my mom was like, what's wrong with her? I'm a person who doesn't like change.
Even I don't anything.
Even
Even
it's funny
you
because
can't.
you work for changing though.
Yeah, that's funny. It's like even if you shift anything around,
Yeah.
when it change comes very difficult. And COVID, like I know it was a very sad time. Like
COVID came out. I was
yeah,
just like,
yeah,
thank God.
it was, right?
Yeah, it was a blessing.
Because at that time, we were all equal. Because, you know, you cannot judge us because they also don't know how to use the technology. We also don't know how to use the technology. So we're at the same level. You cannot compare us, or you cannot, you know, you cannot
But you
say
have
that.
the leverage of being at home.
And certainly that all of us were equals at that time. Yeah. So especially like
Nobody could judge us.
yeah.
But you know, I feel like the only people, nobody cares. Like I realized that much later. Nobody cares. Nobody is judging you. You are the one who's judging yourself.
No, but I feel like when you're in school, people do judge.
You know, for a moment probably,
No,
but you
no.
will think about it
Even in the
constantly.
university, yes. I feel that till date, people do judge you. They judge, probably their judgment is very different than what it was in school. But people in universities judge you a lot.
But do you have this habit that has inculcated slowly that if you ask for some support, you sort of over-explain
Yeah.
everything?
Oh my God. Yeah.
I
that's
do that so much. As like if I'm asking somebody, they're like, it's okay, you'll get it. There's no need to just like
We got it.
yeah,
We
yeah,
understand.
something very small like just dim the lights a little in this room, and I was like, this is because this. Then like, it's okay, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I get that.
Yeah.
It's because like even while to a point where I'm trying my friends are now used to me. So now every time I ask them something, I have to explain it and I have to over-explain it. They're like, we get it. We know you. It's okay. But then when I say something and then I like stop because then I have to like get out of the habit of over-explaining.
Yeah.
And then they just like finish your sentence. I'm like, there's nothing more to say because then वो हो जाता है.
Habit also, everybody doesn't need to know that you have this disability. That thing, like when you, there was a person who said this to me. When you enter a elevator, nobody will look at you and will be like, oh my God, this person has dyslexia. And not that it is something to feel bad about, but nobody will be able to say that. So don't make that your only identity.
That is so true. That is so true.
It's very true. And growing up, like, I would always use this term that I'm dyslexic. And then my dad was like, and what else are you? A human? You love to do certain things, right?
Yeah.
So why is this one adjective that you're sticking yourself to? I was like, yeah, then I'm a person with this and other things.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, but when I enter a new space, I feel like I need to just get rid of this thing and tell them that I have dyslexia. I was like, if you're going out to eat, it's like I'm sitting on the table with a lot of new people. And I need to tell everybody that, hey, I have dyslexia. None of them are interested. They just want to order food. Yeah, and even if I tell them that, can you please order it for me, they will just do it without asking.
Yeah.
But I feel the more the person is busy, like now I've come, like I'm doing medicine, so previously we were in preclinical and paraclinical subjects, which were more like they were more inclined to teaching. Their main focus was, okay, we have to teach the students. And now I'm in clinical subjects where they are also looking at patients. Their main focus is that. And when I go to them and I give them my document that I need to get extra time and everything, they don't even read through it. They're like, yeah, fine, okay. Please move on. We don't need an explanation.
I think it comes from that sometimes you have to struggle so much to get something that you not come out of it completely. And you think,
We forget that it does not only happen with us. There are so many people who are probably not diagnosed with dyslexia or don't have
or
it.
some general challenges. Like कुछ किसी और को भी रूम में कुछ नहीं समझ में आ रहा होगा because सबको सब कुछ नहीं समझ में आता है. And I will die but not ask that I did not get it.
I think I'm open. If I have a problem, it really doesn't matter what people think. In school, of course, I didn't do that much, but in university, you have these heavy terms, new terms that probably, I'm reading for the first time. I don't know about what is standard deviation. I left maths. I don't know what standard deviation means. Or maybe some calculations or how to solve a square root and all of that. I'm open. Sometimes children do give a look that why is she always asking questions?
Does it happen to you that some things come very easy to you, but when somebody asks, you can't explain it?
Oh my God, that's...
I'm completely out. Like, I don't understand how to explain it.
Yeah,
I was just like, I got it.
I know.
I know.
Especially like I'm good in maths, so sometimes
Yeah,
I have to come,
maths में
Yeah.
वो
sometimes
होते
I
हैं.
have to come up with answers and I'm already done. I've done my stuff, and when somebody asks me, no, but how did you do
How
this?
did you do this?
I don't know. like it
My
just yeah.
Because like in my maths answers, all my answers like we had fill in the blanks. It was all correct. And then he's just like, working का है. How did you get this answer? It's सही
I
है,
would
but
never-
कैसे आया? I think it's like just a reflex that we go like bar. And like at least our like friends, like our generation, like
Yeah.
at least mine, they understand it. But then they were also just like, what did you say? I wait, slow down, think and then say, because then because you're saying bar itni jaldi se, then your words also like mix up.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, wait, that didn't make any sense.
Yeah, and it happens to me like I'll use the verb instead of the noun and
Yeah,
just put it
yeah,
together. Yeah.
But I think, you know, speaking skills is generally our strengths. It is a big. I can go on do a presentation for 50 minutes and just speak. I can't write, but I can.
I cannot do that speaking. I cannot.
But you're a singer.
So that's a good
That's
thing.
a good.
Yeah, even I.
So at least
I
you won't
used
have
to sing.
stage fright when it comes to. Do you sing on stage?
Yeah, I have, but yeah, I do have stage fright a bit.
Understandable, same thing as a dance. But like the way of merging words is that recently I just got diagnosed again for my board. And then she was asking me verbal questions and she's like, you have really good verbal skills. Wait a minute. And then she had to change the whole testing. I was like, okay, thanks, I guess.
Yeah, that's something they, you know, we can not outgrow it. It will never be solved. We will always have dyslexia.
Oh, yeah.
But there's this myth कि you know एक बार solve हो जाएगा.
People ask कि अब ठीक हो गया? अब ठीक हो गया? नहीं ठीक हुआ.
But you can, you know, work upon it. You can have a working plan. Maybe, you know, I can't write, but like I can probably work upon it.
Coping mechanisms.
Coping mechanisms are still there, right? So, but कभी outgrow तो नहीं, we'll still have it
You
till
know,
the time we're there.
Like obviously you have to, there are people who have lived with it throughout their
Like,
lives, so
yeah.
they also coped with it.
Cope with it.
But you know,
Yeah.
I feel our generation is very privileged because we have a lot of technology that helps us.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of apps. While like I just carry an iPad to school
Yeah.
and I can
Same
just
here.
like make notes,
Laptop,
take pictures.
iPad.
Yeah.
And I sometimes see people when they're having a challenge, I was like, oh, there's this easy way to do this. And they're like, oh, हाँ ये भी तो था. I was like, see, it's not just easy for me, it's easy for you too. Why just don't you do
Why
it?
there are like, there's a Microsoft, like on Microsoft, if you put a document, it can read for you.
Yeah, the immersive reader
You have
reads it.
Speechifies. So you put the document PDF. And it'll read the entire PDF. I think even with the chapters for you, yeah.
But like
I'm
if you see
sorry,
the speeches.
AI has helped me so much. You don't understand something, you just take a picture of it, put it on ChatGPT, and just tell them that can you please explain very easily.
Oh, as a person who's working, I think I would not shy away from brainstorming, creating a project, completing a program. But the mails that you had to write, they would weigh so heavy on me. I was like, oh my god, I have to go back home and write these 3 mails.
Yeah, because then you have to remember the format, the speed. You can't say like
Spelling.
spellings.
Yeah.
Autocorrect hates you when it comes
Yeah,
to that.
and so now I just quickly like ChatGPT. I will not even type it. I'll just say my thoughts and ask it to write a formal mail.
WhatsApp also has
And then I'll ask it to make it less formal because I was like, even I can't write so
This
much.
much
Why not write
थोड़ा सा
so much?
सोच के हम
I
चलाया.
don't like about probably, you know, Gmails or any document, Word document. You know, when you're something is wrong, you've written a word and for red, why red? Why red? I want to know why red.
To click it and then only the correct spelling comes.
Gives you multiple options of the spelling. You're just like, what do you want me to do?
And I can understand that the word's wrong. Now grammar also you're trying to correct. But yeah, now you're getting into a grammar also.
Who is looking at all of this? People who are reading my email also don't care.
I actually uninstalled Grammarly from my thing because
I never had it.
because you know what happens. So I write these long documents for my I make notes and so whenever I copy paste something and when I've pasted the entire document and I start editing, they said that this document has 107 issues. And I get so pissed. Every single word has a line. For WhatsApp, what I've learned is, so on Apple or thing, every device you have this छोटा mic. I dictate that, but उसमें भी गलती है. Because I feel it hates us. क्योंकि it does not understand our pronunciation.
It doesn't understand our accent.
No, but you can go and change. You have to change your accent. You can change it to English, Indian English. You have to write it, then only.
So I think sometimes when you tell it to people, because they're not very aware and they don't know that when can they get insensitive, they try to be very formal around it.
Yeah.
But at home, things are so different. Like we together, all of us have struggled a lot, like a lot. But then we have these like dyslexia jokes revolving around at home. Like my dad, if he ever asks for a med, right? He's like, oh, I won't take it from you because I don't know if you've read the expiry properly. Yeah.
Even I have inside jokes with my friends. It's like, so every time I'm like talking or like spelling and then they physically see me stop. They're just like, idhar do, ab bolo, main rakhti hu. So my friends always like write for me, they spell. And I was doing a project. I was doing psychologically a project and socialism aaya tha. I spelled the word so wrong. I wrote SHOSHLIMIT. Even autocorrect's like, what are you doing? My teacher laughed at it for a good 5 minutes. She's just like, okay, I get it, but like, what is this?
You guys are like, do you get confused when they say go right, go left?
Oh,
I have.
When I was learning how to drive, I think I had to like write right and left because he would tell me to take a right and I would be taking a left.
I once told my mom, the other right, the other right, take the other right.
So whenever somebody tells me that, oh, you have to go right and then you'll reach there and all, I'm like, right, left. I'll take 2 minutes to process.
I think I'm very bad at directions. I started
Instructions for that matter. If you give me instructions for something, I'll be like ha, and then I'll just remember the last word you said.
Oh my
उससे पहले का सब चला गया. Yeah, but these things are there. Like one is the maps.
Oh my god, I forget. I'll remember their faces. I'll remember what I've spoken to them about. But I will not remember your name. No, I just can't.
And then names become like it with different spellings. So I know 4 Amiras.
And pronunciation
All of them
as
have
well.
different spellings. One spelled as Amira but pronounced as Amira. One person spelled with an I and E. So
I mean, it's also like I'll have full-fledged conversations with people not knowing their name. I've just learned that art. Yeah.
But how
Did
is
you
it like
understand?
you for home? Because I know that your younger sibling, like there was a time where she didn't want to talk about it, but then it's like things are more at ease.
I think for me, a lot of people in my family have dyslexia. So my chachi's son is diagnosed with ADHD and dyslexia. Me and my sister and my father also has it, along with my sister, my mom's brother, so my mamu. And me and my mamu especially have a lot of inside jokes. And he keeps on saying, you're very lucky to have accommodations because I wish I would have had it during my time and I would have been somewhere else. And I feel it's very nice because there's so many people with the same problems. You somehow connect on like a similar ground. And for my sister, I think she is an introvert. She doesn't like to talk in general. So I think she feels like, okay, I have this and I'll keep it to myself. And that doesn't always work, but I think she'll find a way around.
What about the non-dyslexia siblings at home?
Oh, that's so funny. It's because my brother has ADHD. And the thing is, we crack like neurodivergent jokes all the time. And we get away with it also. And my sister's like, what is this badtamisi? Why don't I have something? Why can't I get away? Because she gets into trouble a lot more than we do.
Yeah. My mom will be like, no, even I have dyslexia. I was like, no, you're not that privileged.
Same. My mom's like, maybe because I hang out with you guys too much. I also have dyslexia. I just undiagnosed. I'm just like, don't try.
Does it ever make you furious when you're really trying to explain this to someone and they sort of trickle it down to something very basic, just maybe spelling errors?
Yeah,
And say,
oh my
oh, ये तो सबको होता है, हमको भी है ये. if you talk to people, my generation, everybody will
They will
have
have
it.
this-
Like generalize it a bit too much.
It's so irritating. I'm just like, no. Like, let me explain it. Like, you don't get it. It's
Yeah,
fine.
it's more than spellings.
Yeah.
I feel, you know, at a moment, like at a point in your life, there's no need to explain. Like, you know, like, okay, you accept your own life, be your own person, and that's it. Like, don't waste your energy and time explaining other people. We don't realize that it does not only affect our physical being, it also affects our mental life. Like, I had major anxiety, like, as a child. Yeah.
I'm so scared of keeping relations, like, you know, I like to be in my own space because I was like, what if I'm not able to perform good as a friend, right? As like a mentor to somebody younger than me, as a daughter. So that like the impact that it has on my emotional being at this age has a greater toll.
You constantly also feel, okay, am I good? Like, I'm becoming a doctor, and I constantly, in my first year, went back home and I was like, I don't think I'm good enough to do this.
You
Like,
judge
yeah,
yourself,
I
yeah.
don't think.
Good enough questions are too much. I was like, should I do this? But am I good enough? What if I end up just wasting my time and I'm trying to do this because I just like internally I'm trying to prove something? Like that self conversation is a vicious circle that takes.
And after a time, it's not, you're not disappointing other people, you're disappointing yourself, which is worse.
Yeah.
But like most of it is also, but like one thing that I learned was that it's most of it is just your personality. It has nothing to do with your dyslexia. So like people, even like I got new kids in my batch, like 30 new kids. And like what I realized was I didn't always have to go up and say like I have dyslexia, because like with my old batch, that's what I used to do. But like now that I realized, it's just most of it is personality. So if you like, you may have your own internal thoughts and all and whatever, but like if you just like keep them to yourself or like tell them to somebody who actually cares, like if I tell them to my
And
friends, they understand.
also don't make that the focus of your life, like you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
snowball thing that you do to yourself only.
Yeah.
Nobody's asking you. My parents never said that I want you to become this or
This,
I want
yeah.
you. It was me who was doing it to myself.
It's not
and
my
they're
parents.
like, why? Who's creating this pressure? Who are these invisible people doing this to you? Because we are not. I was like, it's me doing.
So, what helped you coping up with anxiety, like probably at work?
At work, I think I started working very early, very early on. I started working when I was still in college. So, and I started enjoying things because the part with dyslexia in me helped me do certain things very nicely. And even I did not know how is that happening. I was like, you know, people are brainstorming, making these maps, concept notes, and I could just create them in a day. So that helped me. But I was like, but one day they'll know that I have dyslexia and they'll ask me to leave. And this is because my college did not support a lot. And I had this habit of putting this before anything. So the first like word on my resume would be neurodivergent, that I want you to know this at the very beginning. Don't check me out later. So when I started working very early, there was a lot of confidence building that happened at home, like a lot. Like I think they gave me enough confidence to one day decide that I can go to the moon, right? And they made it a point that I get enough exposure. So I was doing so many co-curricular things.
Same.
Yeah, that one helped me channelize a lot of anxiety for me. The second thing for me was they said that own it, and we are there. So I never fear anything. I had bad working experiences. I got through interviews and everything, and then when I disclosed, they did not take me. I was like, but I have gone through, you know, each and every assessment step and everything, and I've cleared all of that. So why not? Like my skills have been proven. Why you're not taking me? But sooner I realized that it's not because they're not confident of me, they're not confident of themselves and their system. So yeah, it's not personal. I'll give them that benefit of doubt that they were not prepared to have me. But I'm very harsh on myself. Like something that can be closed at 70%, I still have to do 110. So
Make it perfect.
yeah, perfect. Like, you know,
I feel like that happens to me too, is because because I've been told a lot of times that you have to work harder to be normal.
Redo. I've seen so many redos all my life.
So many people will be like, in fact, even my mother used to say this, that okay, if somebody takes 2 hours to do it, you will take 4 hours.
yeah.
And I don't now, and I probably even didn't. But that mentality is there, na कि नहीं तुम्हें ज़्यादा time लगेगा, तो क्यों लगाना है?
People say that you're slow and all of that.
Yeah, but you're not. I mean, slow in comparison to what is normal. I just feel कि it's not about pass or fail. You are normal the way you are. There's no comparison. Who are you comparing with? Who's normal?
I get people like when I start like studying and I tell people I have dyslexia, they're like, we would have never been able to tell. So then like that also comes in. So like why do I constantly have to tell myself that I have to work harder, I have to give more hours? I'll be exhausted and I'll still be doing it.
Until I drop down dead, okay? And I think this for me has taken the roots from the fact that IQ was always questioned, like the intelligence bit was always questioned, that you might not be very intelligent, and that stayed with me. I need to let go of that.
So you know what helped me? Like in first year, we had to give our anatomy exams, and it is a subject which majority people, if they give the paper first, they fail. And I had never failed. I had never failed throughout my schooling, and I would always work hard, and I would be one of the students who's done well in exams. And when it came to this shit, I failed, and I was like, what is happening? Why have I failed? And I knew like a lot of people, like 70% of our class had failed, but still I was like, why have I failed? And at that time I realized that okay, I think it's fine, this is good. Like I think I should have failed before, like I would have learned so much more with failing.
Yeah. That's the mentality. But then the thing is that I've been told such contrasting things that I'm so confused as to what I need to do. Because like I've been told like you need to work harder because you get like what you said, 2 hours, it takes 4 hours. But then you're like, you're so special, you're so smart in other ways too. And like
So special, though, I want to say that why am I special? I'm just me, right? Like growing up, everybody would say that, oh, you're so special. Do anything, you will be good at it, or don't do anything. I think this special thing I don't want to
it's
hear.
such a backhanded compliment.
I think special stops when you come into college or when you come into the workforce. I mean, there's nothing called special.
I own up to the fact that this is a disability, because you have to understand there are certain challenges that will never go. It's not my willingness. I will just be unable to do it, and I'll no more push myself to be able to cure it. Right? Like my brother used to say, Didi, I'm bad with bio. That's my reality. I'm bad with it. I don't have a disability. I'm bad with it. Okay, and I am okay being bad with it. Why can't you be okay being bad in one subject at least?
No, but then the thing that comes is that like you're not bad at one subject. You're bad at everything. Because then like that's at least what I think.
But I also disagree with the fact that I know, like the word disability, I have a very different way of seeing it. I had even said this before, and we read about this again. I was so curious about reading about biology that dimples are like defects. Defects, muscle defects, okay? So I used to always say, oh, I have 2 defects. One is like my dimple, and the other is like I have dyslexia. So I always looked at it as in like, okay, disability it's okay to have a disability.
Yeah, it's absolutely okay. Like if you tell me that you look like this, I look like this, you're good at this, you're bad at this.
I think everybody is different in their own way.
People always think that you need to be book smart to be smart. Like especially in school. Like
And that's what we thought too growing up, right?
Yeah, because that's
As
what
a-
we was
A
taught.
kid in school, a kid topping is the kid, is the intelligent kid.
But like being street smart is a lot better.
Yeah.
Because like I would say I'm street smart, but like but then school has made me self-doubt about myself so much that that's also been affected. Like I thought I was good at like arguing about like जुगाड़ कर लेते हैं, ये कर लेंगे, काम कर लेते हैं. But school has made me feel so bad that I can't do maths, or like I'm so weak in maths that I self-doubt and I fumble up. So I don't know, but like I feel like that's most.
Sometimes there's certain work that you have to do, like some task, something, and I feel that everything is possible.
For you guys, it seems like that, but like, right, I feel like her and I, we're still in school.
Yeah.
So we can't relate. You may say it like it's
When I was in school, I used to feel like, oh my god, it's doomsday. I'll die if this, doesn't go right. Well, when you reach to college, you feel like, okay, you're on your own. If this doesn't happen, what's the worst thing that can happen? And you don't fear asking for help. ये मुझसे नहीं हो रहा, आप madad kar do, you know. See, why do you perceive disability as a negative word when it's not? It's not. I feel it's not our disability or it's not dyslexia. It's the fear that's left behind from bad experiences.
So I think if I can help, like, you know, sort of remove that for more people, I would want to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, like I now, like if you look at, like, you know, like I was saying previously, like who I am as a person is made from those experiences I experienced as a child. And now when I look at people struggling, I never think that, oh, they're mean. Like, even if they're mean to me, I don't always think like, oh, that person's so mean, that person's a bad person. I always feel where they're coming from. I always have that insight that, okay, that person's coming from a place of insecurity.
I feel like with having like a disability, like especially, I don't know about others, but like I feel like dyslexia is what I've noticed is that we judge less.
See, somewhere we do tend to get sympathy and empathy, right? And we're aware of that. So when the other person is getting it or is being in that situation, we can probably understand what he or she is going through. One thing I actually feel very sad is that when people say that we're dyslexic or, you know, we're disabled, one thing that they try to say that, you know, spellings nahi aati, you're a slow person, tum kuch kar nahi sakte. They don't look at those people who were dyslexic. Today, if there wasn't a dyslexic person, we won't have lights. We won't have lights. I read this article where I was reading about all those influential people and their success stories and how they managed. Albert Einstein was dyslexic. You had Steve iPhone, the person who built iPhones, he was dyslexic. So Steve Jobs, you wouldn't have got all these amazing facilities that you have today, and the basic facility of light.
Yeah. And like I'm saying, you don't have to be excellent to be dyslexic. Yeah. Nobody is saying that. Normal people can also have, like I say, like, you know, dyslexia is just like a reading, writing disorder, and it has a lot of other spectrums, like included in it. A simple thing like being not able to play basketball or sports can also be a disability. It's just not named. If I can't play basketball, it won't harm my life, right?
For me, it's been like coming out of a tunnel, right? Like, it's been ever evolving for me, like my entire ecosystem, from not knowing it to screening to having special educators to having accommodation. Like, all of this has happened behind me, right? I have not been a part of any of these support structures, but as I moved ahead, these things were happening, and I pretty much as a person, as an adult, know that there's a very high possibility of my children to have this. And I don't fear it anymore, right? I don't fear it. I think my dyslexia is not bigger than me anymore. It's a part of me, it's not bigger than me.
I feel like because of everything that's happened, I've become more like self-doubt right now because like 11 अभी boards खत्म हुए हैं, boards के marks आ गए, दोस्त वो सब हो रहा है, and then I feel like the constant fear, like you said, I'm still on that planet, and then I would say, but I feel like I'm non-judgmental. My personality is a lot more like nicer because a lot of people keep saying if you didn't say you had dyslexia, we would never know. You're so sweet, you're so nice. I feel like because of these events, my personality has become better rather than, I still haven't learned the skills yet because I'm still in school, but like, I would say that, affected my personality a lot more.
Yeah, what's your experience in school?
I think you have to just accept it that you have dyslexia, and you know, there's nothing so big about it. You don't have to shame about it that you have dyslexia, and be open about it and just accept yourself and be happy the person you are.
I feel like the more you accept it, the more others accept it because then you know what to do.
I think like my mom keeps on asking me like if you would have to live your life again, would you want to have this disability? And now I would be like yes, I would completely want it. I don't mind having it because it has molded me in a way which probably I completely feel that if I am like becoming a doctor right now, it is because I have dyslexia. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. And I think also when you look back, you look at more positives than negatives. You look at people who supported you.
I also feel the same. I think where I am today, sitting here, I feel it's all because of who I am, and I would say that I used dyslexia and this disability to an advantage. I advocate a lot. I speak a lot for neurodiversity. I'm a advocate. I think if I did not have this disability, they would have forced me to go into the writing part, or maybe just go read this and do this. I won't have got the exposure of hearing people speaking. I won't have got the exposure to speak a lot. And so I think if I did not have this disability or dyslexia, I think I won't be where I am today.